Hey, what's up, Zoners? Running backs are one of the few positions in the NFL that can make a huge impact their rookie season. And look what we're going to be going over today, man. The top 5 running back prospects going into this year's draft. Some of these people, by the end of the season, will be household names. Your mom, my mom, will probably know a couple of these people's names. So, important episode. Have some fun. Stick around. 7 seconds. What's up, Zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Youth the Wolf, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Jason, I had to spell your name to my mom the other day, and she said you need to change that shit because she'll never be able to spell it right. So how does a D and an L and a T go together so closely? Who knows, Jason? Anyways.
I don't know. I was born with it.
So, can you pass it on to your son, Jason? Good for you. Jason, this is a very important episode. I talked about it in the beginning. Running backs. Hey, man. Your mom might know some of these running backs. Not your mom. Oh, my God. I'm just saying, your mom, throwing it out there. People's moms out there might know these running backs by the end of the season, Jason. Because, hey, dude, running backs make an impact immediately. I got Adrian Peterson on my mind, Jason. But before we get into all of this good shit, we got to tell the public how they can help the show because this show needs it, man. We're like Rose and Jack. We're maybe sinking, man. We need a Rose to like lift us up. Don't let us sink.
That's not good because Rose let Jack die. She literally said, "I will never let go, Jack." And then 5 minutes later, she let go. And Jack went
subscribe.
Down. That's what happens when you don't subscribe. You drown in the Atlantic. Emotionally and physically. Anyways, if you guys survive the eclipse today and you enjoy listening to two friends talk about football and give their insight, please subscribe. Press the like. We like the likes. Leave us a comment about these NFL players or these rookies that we're going to talk about today. We're also on Spotify at the Fantasy Red. So,
Jason, I was working out in the sun, man, and I was like, I think the eclipse is supposed to be now. And I went like this. I kind of like wedged I saw it for a second, man. I saw it. There's a little wedge out of there. Then, my coworker had the glasses. So I put them on and I saw it. It was just a little piece. A little piece.
Yeah, it was overcast here today.
They said, man, people were like driving everywhere to go see this shit. And everything was fogged in, cloudy and all that shit. So There you go, man. That's what you get.
We had those glasses too. Those things are thick, bro. I hope you didn't drive with them on, man. Those things are crazy.
Whenever I use them to drive. Fucking.
Little,
yeah, they're like welding. They're almost like welding glasses.
Yeah,
they're made to. And you remember, there was a famous thing. Donald Trump was just like.
Yeah. Did you see that? Like people were like, "I'm going to watch the eclipse and then claim disability." Because what it does to your eyes.
Anyways, Jason.
Here we go.
Moving forward. CeeDee Lamb, did you know he was already talking about holdouts, Jason?
No.
I think this is why they couldn't pay Dak, Jason, is because they got to deal with all this shit. You saw Micah Parsons, I just talked about in the edge rusher, like as far as win rate, that dude was in a league of his own on edge rushers. They're going to have to pay CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. So this is what's going on right now. I think this is a tactic, Jason, just to get more money.
Yeah, I mean, when you play as well as you did, I think he led in targets, receiving, second in receiving yards, and third in touchdowns. I think he's like, show me the money.
Jason, were we talking about P. Diddy on Friday's episode? We're all made more money, more problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, tune in on Fridays. We drink live. Sometimes I don't remember what we say, so check it out. But yeah, Jason, are you okay with them holding out for CeeDee and breaking the bank on CeeDee and Micah Parsons, or would you rather just have them pay Dak?
That is a very good question, Tyler. I feel
like you should be thinking about this shit before you go to sleep every night.
I think about the running back right now. That's what I'm thinking about. What are we going to do?
I know who they're going to get, so don't worry about that.
Oh, nice. I need you to tell me when we get there. Because This is freaking me out, man. I think, you know what? I think I'd rather keep CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, me too. And they're supposed to. I mean, I have the top five offensive lines here in a second, and they're not one of them. So they are losing out. They're losing pieces of their offensive line, but they still will have probably a top 10 offensive line. Next up, Jason, that huge dude in the draft that ran like, I don't know, it was like he was like 360 pounds, ran like a 5.0 40, made a lot of money that day. Well, Jason, Trevonjay Sweat arrested on suspected DWI and out on bail over the weekend. Well, yeah, it was a suspected DWI because he fucking crashed. There was a crash. The police had to respond to a crash at 4:40 a.m., man. So, dude, you're crashing cars on the highway at 4:40 a.m.? What are you doing, man?
He's just following by example, man. He saw Rashee Rice do it. Oh, Jalen Carter, too. Oh, my God.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Did Rashee Rice do that before the draft, Jason?
No, I mean, he just did it. He just wrecked his cars 2 weeks ago.
Oh, no, Rashee Rice.
Did I say Ray Rice? I probably did.
I'm sorry. I've got Ray Rice on my mind because of later, so.
Oh.
Tease!
Yeah, so maybe Sweat's like, this is what we do. This is what professionals do. We wreck cars. Now it's my turn. I wonder if he's sweating about the legal obligations he might have to face.
Anyways, Jason.
Okay, all right.
He was apparently he was talking to coaches about how he is over his party. He's talked a lot about partying a lot, and he's matured since he's been in college. Well, that was a lie. So
yeah, that's when you do your partying, man.
Hey, man, we did our partying. I don't know, in high school, and right after high school, and then when I went to college, I was ready for business. Jason,
business class. Yeah, what's up?
The projected top 5 offensive lines next year are out. The Lions are number 1. They overtook the Eagles. So Penei Sewell another year. I think they kept a lot of their offensive line. Whereas Jason Kelsey's out wrestling fools in the WWE, man. And then we have the Colts, dude. Colts coming in number 3. That is going to be huge for Jonathan Taylor, Anthony Richardson. Give me some Jonathan Taylor next season. They jumped ahead of the Ravens. And then the Panthers, surprisingly, Jason, projected to be a top 5 offensive lineman. I think that Chuba Hubbard will be a good draft pick, depending on what running backs they take in the draft this year.
Yeah, I think I kind of saw this earlier that they picked up one of the best linemen. They got 2 linemen in the free agency, and one of them was one of the better ones that hit free agency. And
it was the defensive. Remember, we were talking about the defensive lineman that it was like the fucking number 1 run blocking win rate guy. So they got that guy.
Yeah, you're talking about that guy. I'm talking about offensive line. They got 2 in free agency, and I want to say one of them is like Hunts or Hurts. Oh, that's gonna bug me. I gotta look it up.
You got your tablet, Jason, when I talk.
Huh?
You can check your tablet when I'm talking sometime.
Okay. I mean, that's basically it. They're definitely targeting their offensive line to improve it.
Yeah, so I do think that there will be some value. I mean, it can't get much worse than last year, man. So there will be some value. You just got to find it. Am I investing in Adam Thielen? Probably not. But yeah, dude, got to see what's going on there. I would like to pick up a running back from this team. Jason.
Yeah.
The Falcons, I thought this was interesting. Signed a cornerback who has not played since 2021. So, to me, that's kind of crazy. I don't know. It's got to be their 3rd or 4th because they had one of the best tandems in the NFL for the cornerbacks last season. I did not do research to see if they lost one of those dudes, but I just thought it was crazy that they were signing somebody that hasn't played in the NFL since 2021, especially a cornerback.
Yeah, I wonder if they got him for like super cheap.
I think he was on a couch, dude.
Yeah, I was like, here's some bubble gum. You want to play or what?
Depends what kind of shit that is, man. I've been craving that cotton candy Bubba-licious. But then I'm like, dude, I don't go to the dentist, and the last thing I need to be doing is fucking chewing on sugar.
Well, you're supposed to only go to the dentist once every 6 years. What?
What did you say, Jason?
I said 6 years.
Oh, thank God.
No, it's 6 months.
Track.
It's 6 months.
I was went to the dentist, man. I was like, dude, they are literally making shit up. This is a criminal organization. Like, dude, I'm no good to them if I just keep on coming in and my teeth are okay. They've got to fix shit on my teeth to make money, man.
Boycott dentists.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't been since the COVIDs, Jason, and who knows what my teeth are going to be like now. They're going to be scraping the fuck out of that. I do not want to go back. All right, man. Here's another interesting fact, Jason. With Chase Young and Khaleke Hudson on the New Orleans Saints, the Saints now have more members of the Washington's 2020 draft class than Washington does, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Washington has 0 members of their 2020 draft class.
That's really what you talk about, like rebuilding
Rebuilding your shitty
squad.
Drafting. And then
that too, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, what does that reflect more poorly on, like Chase Young or the Washington Redskins?
Yeah, that's true.
They
even changed their name during that time, right? Didn't they change their name?
They can't get away from this shit, man. They can't get away from this shit. They need a major league year. All right, Jason, AR-15 up to 40 throws a day. I was all about this guy, man. Who did I draft? I drafted Jalen Hurts and AR-15 last year late. But guess what, dude? In some mock drafts, that guy is going so high. So he better be good this year, Jason. He better be fully healthy. Otherwise, you're going to be overpaying for Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I hope that in some leagues that people are going to play in that he drops just because of, what people saw. Because, man, I saw like top 5. I don't know, man. I've seen that a few times. I've seen some other podcasts talk about top 5, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't think I could take that step.
I mean, the ceiling is there, dude. Shane Steichen, everything. It's like, hell fucking yeah, but I had that dude. He literally could not finish a game.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's so much investment into somebody that cannot finish. And you can't predict injuries, but like when it's like that, it's like, holy shit, dude. All right, here we go. Arby's. This is to all you fans out there. Not fans. You don't have to be fans. It means you like us. You don't even have to fucking like us. To all those people that like football out there. PFF has a list, man. Go check it out. So PFF is who we like to go to the most. If you can afford it.
Yeah.
And, Jason, I think we got our top 5 from PFF, so that's what we're going to go by.
Yep. PF5 is the bee's knees.
All right, dude. I got my number 5 right here. And if you're looking at this, Jason, you're just like, holy shit.
Dude, this is a guy, I'm excited to hear what you have to say about this guy.
Well, he's 6 foot, Trey Benson, 6'1", 221 pounds. He had the third fastest 40, 4.39. And we were talking sub 4.40s and you're 220 pounds, man. That is elite. Breece Hall. That is, it was 6'1", 220 with that 4.39 40. So the only difference, man, is a pound, man. There's a pound that's a difference. He had 14 rushing touchdowns in 13 games this season. He had 1 reception touchdown in 3 years of college. So, huge downfall. You kind of watch this guy. His lateral, I can't remember if it's lateral movement. His side-to-side movement blows, dude. It's like he fucking sucks at moving side to side. He is so slow, but when you get him straight ahead, man, he takes off like a madman. He's like one of the fastest people. And talk about broken tackles, dude. You're talking about broken tackles, dude? In 2022, so not this last year, but the year before that, he had the best broken tackle rate since PFF began tracking that stat in 2014. 0.51 broken tackles per rushing attempt. Dude, that rate got cut in half in 2023, but still, that's one of the tops. I was watching highlights of this dude, and they're like, this guy averages 4 yards after contact, Jason. 4.0 yards after contact.
Yeah,
that is crazy. You look at his legs, man. His weight is where it needs to be there in his legs. So, I mean, that makes sense. He's running through arm tackles. But man, you know what? I'll just keep on talking about this site. Yeah, then I'll give my subjective opinion here in a second. Second team All ACC, led the team with 900. He only had 906 rushing yards. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry. I love that, dude. That's great. 14 rushing touchdowns. I talked about that. He played in all 13 games with 10 starts. So there you go. He hasn't had more than 156 carries over the last 2 seasons and logged only 1 game in that period with at least 20 carries. So this guy is built like a workhorse running back, yet college did not want to use him as a workhorse running back. Let's see, dude. Benson is a screen chip or a check down option in the passing game. That's what I saw with my eyes. It's like he is not a smooth route runner. He's going out there and it's just like, it's kind of ugly looking. But if he gets good blocking, Jason, and it's all easy for him, all set up, he's not going to create his own fucking lanes. But if it's all set up for him, that fool will score a touchdown, man. He is a home run hitter when the conditions are perfect. Damn, dude, I thought I had this other thing right here, but whatever. Ranked running back 36, Jason, on fantasy football stuff. So he is still not ranked as a top running back, depending on where he goes. His comp is Breece Hall. And when you think about Breece Hall, with his lateral movement compromise, that was Breece Hall this last year, Jason. Yet, I see Breece Hall making his own blocks sometimes. He doesn't need everything to be perfect. This guy is like a budget Breece Hall. He needs a great offensive line in front of me. Breece Hall can make shit happen even with a bad offensive line. This guy is a budget Breece Hall, so he cannot make that magic happen unless he's got it going. But man, he will remind you of Breece Hall, Jason, when he's running in a straight line and his size and everything else. So I think that depending on the situation he goes to, he could be a huge value in fantasy football. I have him as his best landing spot in Dallas because he needs, a heavy workload and in a great situation, Jason. And they run the ball. They should have a great offensive line. So he needs something like that. I don't know if that's what you were thinking about.
I'm looking forward to see this guy where he goes and see how he plays. And he's the type of player that every year he gets better. Tyler, I don't know if you read this, but he actually tore his ACL, MCL, PCL, and tore his tendon in his hamstring in the Oregon game, like his freshman year. So since then, that's probably why he wasn't getting a lot of work, but he's still young. He keeps getting the ball, that's not good.
No, I'm just like, dude, I've got like every single one of these running backs is literally coming off some crazy ass injury. But Jason, I actually did not write that down. So you were right. It's the other two running backs that are coming off this crazy shit, man. Like, no wonder there's not a lot of top-ranked running backs, Jason, in the first round.
Yeah, but, I think that's...
So I'm loving what you're telling me because it makes sense. When you watch this guy's lateral movement and, like, the way he's, like, unsure about himself, it's just kind of weird. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the only reason why he's, I think, 5th on the board and he's going late because they're still just worried about... Dude, he had it's like a Nick Chubb injury that he just had in high school, like as freshman or sophomore year. But, he's still young. He's going to be like 3 years removed from the injury. So I actually saw that he was visiting the Browns.
Yeah, there's a lot of people visiting the Browns right now, but I think it was there's a lot of dynasty websites and stuff, and they're talking about where they would succeed the most. And from the most part, everybody has him pegged as a Dallas Cowboy. Jason.
Well, I mean, I'm okay with that, dude. Like I said, I like Trey Benson. I feel like he's definitely getting underrated right now just because of his knee injury, but it's still kind of scary.
I think he's being overrated right now.
But I'll be okay with that, to be honest.
I just don't like the way he runs, man. It's like, imagine me like trying to run. I'd be like, oh shit! Like, do I really want to hit that hole?
Yeah.
He's just he's patient in the wrong way. He's got like the jitters. He doesn't sure which hole to hit. And he is not smooth, man. We'll talk about a smooth dude in a minute or in a couple minutes. But this guy is not smooth for as fast as he is. You'd think this guy is so fast he'd be smooth. Nah. All right, Jason. I think we got a guy with a cool first name coming up.
Bucky, not the guy from the MCU, but the running back, Bucky Irving from Oregon. PFF, big board, ranked 84 with a season grade of 88.2. Okay, so this guy, he doesn't have the natural NFL running back look, but is efficient in both run and pass game. With 186 carries, he rushed for 1,192 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's 6.4 yards per carry. And a better stat is that he was catching passes from Bo Nix daily with 55 receptions last year. Balance is his guy's best trait. As I see him bouncing off defenders or running through tackles, but with a low top end speed. He's not going to get you many 50-plus yard touchdowns. I think he had one last year, and it was against Portland State, and that's not really saying much. I'm in Portland, so. But his tape at the combine showed he is very comfortable making receptions out of the backfield. His route running looks good with very clean catches. With a 40 time of 4.55, he focuses a lot on shiftiness, balance, and power through tackles. He is tough to bring down and will make the first defender miss. When he does eventually get tackled, he falls forward and earns an additional 2 yards. I saw this clip where some guy was like hanging onto his ankle for dear life, and he was just like dragging him for another like 3 yards before he went down. My comparison I had for this guy is a Devin Singletary. What isn't great is his pass protecting ability. So he most likely will not be a third down back. And his frame is a bit smaller to take brute force from the NFL as a bell cow. I believe he will be in a running back committee and will be used in passing downs. And I feel like this guy is going to be like a day 2, day 3 pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope he would have ran a faster 4.55 40. That's not that great, but like he was in the top 10% of that 10-yard split. I'm not a huge 10-yard split guy. I mean, what's his name? Benson had a great 10-yard split. I didn't even put it in that shit because I like the cone drill, Jason. But yeah, so everything that you're telling me about this guy, it feels like he's going to be a good, like a Jaylen Warren. I mean, worst. I mean, that'd be amazing if it's Jaylen Warren, but best case scenario is going to be a change of pace back that gets like 45% of the workload, 40% of the workload, something like that. So, I mean, I don't think this is going to be somebody that we're going to be looking at in fantasy football drafts that much. But I do think that he could have a long career, which I think is kind of funny that he's ahead. That this guy is ranked ahead of Benson, and when Benson is just like the prototypical height, weight, speed, man. So it just kind of goes with people think about Benson's actual running ability. When this guy right here is like super quick and, was known for all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Did you say Trey Benson had like one reception or one reception?
One receiving touchdown, Jason, in fucking 3 years of college.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. This guy, Bo Nix, he was actually very accurate in the short to intermediate range. And this guy was part of the main reason, like 55 catches, a couple touchdowns receiving. I think that's mainly why they would put him in front of Benson, because he's versatile. Yeah,
and then they would they talked about lateral movement. That's what he is, like his number one strength is. And they said that right here. He's all about those swing passes. He would even line up on the outside, get motion to the other side. So this is kind of like, I don't know, dude. Swiss Army tooth. Swiss Army tooth. I am having such. I'm so tired. I am having such trouble today, man. But yeah, Swiss Army knife, man. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example, Jason. Like, what is like a Swiss Army knife type of guy? I've heard that a million times about a ton of running backs, but I just can't think about it right now. Who's like a gadget player almost?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later. I don't know. Jason, you got a kid, man, but I'm so fucking tired, man. This weekend kicked my ass. Taxes, man. Taxes will do it to your ass.
Yeah, there's no sleep anymore.
Are your taxes done, Jason?
Yeah, I did my taxes.
Too bad you can't claim that fucking kid of yours.
Yeah, 7 days too late.
Okay.
But next year.
Yeah, so Bucky Irving, dude, Jason, he is ranked running back 74 on Boone's list. So that is kind of, Trey Benson was ranked, I think, in the 50s. So that just goes to show, like, even though he might be a better running back, dude, he's ranked, no, dude, Benson was ranked 36. This guy's 74. I think this is more about the kind of role that he's going to get in the NFL.
Yeah, Irving's not really, I said it, he's not going to be a third down back. He's not built for that.
Jason, my favorite. Oh, yeah. Do you have a pro comp or anything for him? You don't. What did you say?
I said Devin Singletary.
Oh, yeah. Devin Singletary. Man, when you think about that guy, when given the opportunity, he's actually a good workhorse back.
I was thinking like Buffalo Bills Devin Singletary. Well, he can run, but he can definitely catch out of the backfield.
They call this guy Blake the Great, Jason.
Oh.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
This guy's my favorite running back in the draft. So He's the one dude I look and I'm like, holy shit, man, this guy is determined. It's like to fucking get to the end zone, Jason. He doesn't care. All these other guys are just like, oh, should I go? I'm gonna watch Trey Benson. Should I go? This guy's like, I'm gone. I full send every time. And he's actually patient in a good way, man. We'll talk about that in a second. PFF's number 3 running back, 5'8", 214 pounds, dude. So he is like a fire hydrant out there. 23 years old, a little bit older. He had 27 rushing touchdowns in college last season. That was 6 more than anybody else. So, and that it plays to his strength, man. Short yardage situations are this dude's strength. 4.53 40. So I watched a couple of videos watching him get caught from behind, Jason.
Same.
So, but but in between, like, dude, the first 10 yards, holy shit, good luck, man. Good luck. This guy runs in a phone booth. Just think about Dameon Pierce, but like dwarf-sized. And, dude, even more talent, man. But seriously, watching Dameon Pierce run, I was like, holy shit. Second fastest 3-cone drill at 6.82 and number 1 on the bench press, Jason, at 27. So you combine the strength with that agility. Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? And like what I'm thinking about right now, man, what was that? There was we went back and it was like Christian McCaffrey, some of these other just amazing running backs over the last 10 years. What can we correlate to great running backs, Jason? The 3-cone drill. And here we go, man. This guy got the second fastest one, and he was only off of that by like 1,000th of a second. No, it was 100th. Excuse me. 100th. Excuse me. Started all 15 games, man. He only had 5 yards of carry, but just think about all those situations, man, where he was short yardage touchdowns. They were the championship game offensive MVP. 21 rushes for 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Team captain. Set the school record, dude, for rushing touchdowns. He was the all-time leading scorer, the only FBS player to score in every game during the 2023 season. You're like, oh my god, dude!
Damn.
I know, right? He was dominant and explosive. His second season was insane. And then he got, what did he do? He injured his. Oh my god, I got it written down somewhere. He was rumored to be dealing with his injuries all of his third season. So this last year, he tore his meniscus at the end of his second season. Man, dominating. And then it was rumored that this season he was dealing with that torn meniscus, and he kind of lacked that crazy explosiveness that he had his all-world, second year, Jason. Let's see. And, dude, he had crazy, like I said, he has crazy short bursts of speed, but he gets caught from behind. In 9 of his 15 games played in 2023, Corum failed to generate more than 2 missed tackles, forced, or at least 2.4 yards after contact per attempt. So he failed to miss. So sometimes he does not generate, that many missed tackles and stuff like that. And he does get, it's just, I don't know, man. I think it's the way that they used him, dude. I would like to see the 8-man box for fucking Michigan Wolverines this year that he had to go against. Corum didn't allow any sacks at Michigan while giving up only 3 hurries and 111 pass blocking snaps. So this guy is a dwarf, but he is super strong and does not give up any sacks, Jason. So he's going to be on the field a fucking ton. He is ranked running back 39 on Boone, so he's on the precipice of being, a starting running back. And the best landing spot, Jason, is the Los Angeles Chargers, because the way that he runs and everything, if they could just set up the same system, dude. Greg Roman, Jim Harbaugh, let's go. Dude, he needs big bodies in front of him. It's so funny watching Blake Corum highlights. He's got fucking tight ends and offensive linemen, like, blocking people. It is insane, dude. They were dominant blocking up front. But, Jason, this came into mind. Ray Rice, when I was watching him, the way that he was working, he knows how to work the blocks. He is uptight behind blocks, and he is bobbing and weaving. You cannot see that fool, just like Ray Rice back in the day, dude. And then I went and I looked. They're the same height, same weight. But Ray Rice had a 4.440, so I think that we're looking at strength over long speed. Jason, this guy will be better in short yardage situations, but will not hit those home runs like Ray Rice did. But Ray Rice is his comp. And I will be looking to draft this guy on the fucking Chargers, Jason. If he goes to the Chargers, man, that's like a top 10 running back to me.
Yeah, if he goes to the Chargers, reuniting with his old coach, you can say bye-bye to Gus Edwards, man. And if you're saying his comp is Ray Rice, dude. Ray Rice, I had him on my fantasy team multiple times. He was great. Hopefully his comparison is on the field to Ray Rice and not Ray Rice off the field.
That's terrible. Don't ever hit anybody.
Yeah. But what'd you say before? If you're a piece of shit, just walk away. Just walk away. You remember that? No, you
Go
forgot.
fucking punch a dude, man. God.
I know you said some of these. I'm going to read them again. Corum holds a single season record in points at 150 and rushing touchdowns in 25, along with holding the number one spot all time in career rushing touchdowns with 56. This guy, they fed the ball to this guy, and this guy showed that he could actually do well with it. And that was part of the reason why J.J. McCarthy is kind of where he's at right now. Like there's smoke saying he might go third overall or blah, blah, blah. But McCarthy did not throw the ball much because the team was leading most of the time. So they just fed it to Corum, and Corum didn't disappoint. He's a good back.
Mr. Jason, next up, man. No, Blake Corum's my favorite. Jaylen. I'm not gonna say anything. This guy though, number 2 up, running back 55. So Jason, this is kind of interesting. We had Benson in the 30s. We had Blake Corum even ahead of that. We had your dude like in the 70s, and now your other dude is in the 50s. So they must be a smaller guy as well, if I had to guess.
Jaylen Wright? WRIGHT. PFF Big Board ranked 71. Season grade 91. In my school, Tyler, that's an A. NFL caliber athlete, young running back, has his pros and cons. Pros: less mileage on the tires. Cons: lack of consistent running back vision. That's something you get with experience. But succeeded in both gap and zone blocking concepts and has a top-tier pass protection ability for a 3-down potential in the NFL, according to PFF. I'm like what I'm reading so far. Here we go. Had 146 carries in 2022 and averaged 6 yards per carry. Then, in 2023, he became the first Tennessee running back to rush over 1,000 yards since 2015, and he did it with 136 carries. That's 10 less carries from the previous season, while averaging 7.4 yards per carry, second in college behind quarterback from LSU, Jaden Daniels. That says something right there. He had 22 receptions as well. PFF has him as one of the best pass blockers in the country. First thing I noticed when this guy was his explosiveness, as expected, because he was a track runner in high school. As soon as he gets the ball, he's going 100 miles per hour, which helps him rack up yards in the open space. He had 42, 52, 82, and 75-yard runs in 2023. His 75-yard run against Georgia was a thing of beauty. Go check it out on the YouTube. His 40 time was 4.38. Well, listen to this, Tyler. He had the fastest mile per hour top speed at 5 yards in the 40-yard dash within the last 2 years.
I have that written. That's like on Google right now. It's like, he's got the fastest acceleration by any running back in the past 2 combines.
Yeah. And he hit 15.18 miles per hour. That is faster than Davion Achane, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, and your boy Keaton Mitchell. With his broad jump being 11 and 2 inches, he has that lower body power to be a rocket out of the backfield. When watching film, I saw him as a patient runner until there was an opening, and then he just would shoot out there like a cannon. I would see the safeties losing ground when trying to catch him before eventually they were so far behind him, the safeties were off camera. They weren't on camera anymore. My comp is DeAndre Swift with his explosiveness, agility, and ability to start on the inside of a run and finish on the outside if needed. It sounds like Jaylen is going to be a day 2 draft pick, but I'm also hearing day 3. I couldn't find if anybody was like predicting him to go somewhere, but they were just saying maybe day 2 is where this guy's probably going to go.
Yeah. And Jason, when you watched him, did he seem like he was smooth, like when he was running out of the backfield?
Yeah, and he does that thing when you were just talking about, like, he'd be coming up to a defender and he would just like, he'll just duck in his shoulder, going 100 miles per hour, just duck in his shoulder, and he would just weave right around a defender and just take off, dude. It was crazy. This guy's speed was insane on tape.
And I forgot, dude, a lot of this shit, like Trey Benson, I thought a lot of his problem was, dude, they take so many, every single one of their running backs kind of have it tough, Jason, because they're literally in shotgun and it's like the play starts and this guy just hands it off to him. And it's like, fuck, dude, can we get an I formation going on here?
And every highlight was in shotgun.
And I was tripping. So this guy was pretty much in shotgun every time too?
Every time, yep.
So Blake Corum, that shit, you know what he's going to be like under center at least. You're just like, fuck. It's going to be like, they're going to fullback. They have a fullback and everything. So I don't know, man. I think that's what's tripping me out about a lot of these running backs is just watching them out of the gun each time. But Trey Benson did not look smooth. Like, he's so fast. I'm looking at this guy. This guy was faster than Trey Benson. So it's just like, was he smooth? Because, okay.
Smooth as a criminal, dude.
Yeah, so Jonathon Brooks, or not Jonathon Brooks, Jaylen Wright. I think that Jaylen Wright, I'm going to have to go and look at more. Depending on where he goes, I think that he's going to be interesting, Jason. I think I'm more about Jaylen Wright than I am about Benson. I think that people are just putting way too much into Benson. I don't know, man. I think he's going to get overdrafted based on his speed and his size. But man, I don't know. I did not like the tape. Because what do I do, Jason? Oh yeah, I go to versus Alabama usually. I think I did this to Jonathon Brooks. We'll talk about that in a second. And dude, when you watch running backs versus Alabama, holy fuck, dude, nobody does well.
Yeah, so his game against Alabama, they pretty much shut him down, but he ended up helping out in the passing game, and he has 7 receptions that game, which was a season high.
Jaylen?
Yeah.
Jesus. So that's good too. I think Jaylen might have been the dude that was getting. I was like, there was a running back in here that I was looking at. I think actually it might have been Jaylen Wright that was getting a lot, like 8 reception, 10 target games or something like that.
Yeah,
all right, man. Jonathon Brooks, number 1. I was like, dude, this must be a weak ass class, man. I think it was just because last year was Bijan. And it had been a while since we got like some superstars. But I was like, dude, this is the number 1 guy. I don't even know who he is for the most part.
Yeah, who is this guy?
Who is this guy? Jonathon. I spelled his name wrong. Brooks. So, so this guy was waiting in the wings behind Bijan Robinson, PFF's number 1 running back in the draft. Dude, he ranks top 10 nationally in yards after contact and elusive rating, so he's hard to tackle. That's good. He tore his ACL on November 11th. Jason, this guy's the number 1 running back in the draft for PFF. And he fucking tore his ACL November 11th. That's the kind of running back class we're talking about here, Jason. It's not good.
Damn.
This guy is 6 foot, 216, 21 years old, so he is younger than most of these guys. Ran an average 40, 4.45 40. 6.1 yards per carry on 187 attempts and had 10 rushing touchdowns in 11 games. Then he tore his ACL. 1 fumble. Workhorse back, they say. In 6 of his 10 full games last season, Jason, he had at least 20 carries. So as far as like carries go, this guy was like a workhorse. Him and Blake Corum, dude, were like workhorse of workhorses. So I think that is huge. And I have this written down right here. I wanted to watch the tape on him, so I went versus Alabama. And I was like, hey, I like the way this guy runs, but I never get to see it because he was literally blocking the entire time.
Oh, wow. Did he do good at blocking?
Crazy. He ended up getting 14 carries for 57 yards and 1 touchdown. So, I mean, that's not great. And I was like, dude, what did Bijan get against Alabama the year before? 21 carries for 57 yards and 1 touchdown. He did better than Bijan Robinson, Jason. And I swear, when you watch this guy, he looks a lot like Bijan with the long dreads. He is so smooth. Like, after watching Blake Corum, who I like, he's just hyper, he just wants it more than anybody else. And then Benson, who just looks so unsure of where the hell he's even going to go. This guy right here, man, was so fucking smooth. It's just every single pace looked the same. Like, every stride was the same length, even though he was changing speeds and directions. It was pretty amazing. He catches passes like super smooth. So he was the 1 running back that I did out of my 3 that I saw was like, yeah, this is a first round running back. And then you see he tore his ACL, God, dude, at the end of the season, Jason. So people are going to be drafting him in the second or third round, and he's coming off a torn ACL, man. So I think that shit's crazy. What was he? Oh yeah. So I talked about how he runs, Jason. And my comp, I checked out the height and the weight. It's pretty similar. Dude, Jamal Charles, when you watch this full run, he runs so much like Jamal Charles. The only problem is Jamal Charles was like a 4.2 something 40. So this guy does not have the same speed, but it's weird to watch somebody run so smooth. And it's just like, he's not Arian Foster because Arian Foster's a smooth runner. It's more of a Jamal Charles type of smooth.
I feel like Arian Foster was one of the smoothest runners, I think, of all time.
He was slow as shit, dude. He was like a 4.5 something.
There must be something about those Texas running backs. Jamal Charles went to Texas too.
I know. Oh, did he? Well, maybe that's why I thought that. And then Jason, he is ranked running back 45, so that is still we have Blake Corum, the highest ranked running back, in fantasy on this list. But Jonathon Brooks, from a talent standpoint, is probably the best running back. But still weak. I think it is a weak class for running backs if this guy's your top dude. I think Blake Corum I would rather have. Just because it scares the shit out of me that he's coming off a torn ACL, but I'm like, whatever, dude. Apparently he's at a schedule, Jason. The best fit, I couldn't really think of a best fit for this guy. And I kind of went with the Dynasty websites that I was looking at. They want him to go to Arizona because James Conner, it's they have a defensive head coach from Seattle. It's like they want to run the ball a lot. They could see him taking over, being a workhorse running back after James Conner.
Well, how much faith can we put in this guy with the ACL and also being a rookie behind James Conner? Like, for fantasy purposes, it's great that in the game against Alabama that they just kept feeding him the ball, so you could tell they had a lot of trust in this guy. But I'm like, dude, we see what happens with the first year return after ACL. It takes a while before you get back into the back into the
swing of things.
Swing of things. I wanted to say gear. Back into the gear of things. Yeah. So for fantasy purposes, I don't know, but I mean that's saying a lot that he went through all this his injuries and he's still projected to be the first running back off, dude. And he played behind Bijan Robinson last year. Who is this guy?
For fantasy though. Oh, sorry, Jason.
No, I was just real quick. Tell me what you think about this. He has visited the Panthers and the Buccaneers.
I think the Panthers would be the interesting one there because Rachaad White's a lot like what we're talking about right here, dude. So, I think because Chuba Hubbard is the most talented running back on the Panthers right now, and now we have them with a top 5 offensive line. Send Jonathon Brooks there, and maybe he gets going at the second half of the year, maybe. But they also need a running back that can contribute right now. So I think they would be good getting Blake Corum or something. But they also need somebody that can catch a lot of passes. And from what I saw from Jonathon Brooks, man, he looked like he was really good at catching passes.
He was or wasn't?
He was. Like he was just like boom, boom, whatever. Whereas, dude, Trey Benson, man, that was a joke. I was like, are my feet in the right place? 7 yards. Turn around. It's like, dude, this is so weird.
Maybe he can be a decent fit for Carolina. I mean, they did get guard Robert Hunt and guard Damian Lewis in free agency. That's a callback from earlier.
Good job, Jason.
And Miles Sanders, he's there, but he's not going to win any starting jobs, right? So as soon as this guy probably gets fully healthy and gets to the second season, he's probably going to be in there. With Chuba Hubbard, maybe. Killing it. Catching it.
Chuba Hubbard, maybe. Yeah, dude. So Jonathon Brooks, I think, is interesting. But as far as if we're talking fantasy and what my team, if my Vikings, I really would love to get Blake Corum. Minnesota next to Michigan. Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. I'm just thinking it's so hard to be wanting these running backs, man. Like, what do I want? I need to go check out Jaylen Wright. Sounds interesting to me. I do not want. I think that Zach Charbonnet is. I was checking out Trey Benson and Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet ran like a 4.5 something last year, Jason. But he reminds me so much of Trey Benson as well. yards after contact is his strength, but he's not really that great. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, I can't wait to see for the draft of what players are actually going to have a chance even to have opportunities next year in the league.
Yeah, so there you go. That's the top 5 running backs. Boom! Heading into this season. That is super important to know, man. Because especially for fantasy, and if, like I said, by the end of the year, there will be a lot of non-football people that know a couple of these people's names. Hey, man, as far as fantasy strategy, you want to draft a ton of rookie running backs and a ton of fantasy wide receivers, or a ton of rookie running backs and rookie wide receivers. That's been a strategy for like 4 or 5 years now, Jason.
Yeah,
At least with the wide receivers as well. So we do have a wide receiver show coming up. That's going to be another good one. But hopefully we earned a thumbs up, Jason. Hopefully we earned a subscription, man. Look at our subscriber numbers. We need this shit. I can barely talk, man. Like I need to go outside and suck on a fucking hose, dog, because my mouth is dry.
it's that eclipse, dude. Dries out the air. Dries out the air.
They were saying the eclipse lasts like 4 minutes. That shit was going forever, man.
Really? I feel like they said it was going to be like an hour and 30.
I think it's the total the perfectness. Yeah. And on sports radio, they were like, next time you're in the bedroom with your wife, you should try to outlast the eclipse. Good luck.
Damn. Have to try to outlast the eclipse. Not yet, honey. Not yet. Not yet. Turn around.
All right, guys. Jason, please send us out.
Yes, we got a video. We got live. We're going to be live Friday. I don't know. I'm thinking about if we're going to do the top 5 quarterbacks or wide receivers, one of them. But make sure you guys are there. It's fun. We're going to be drinking. Drink with us. Ask some questions. Let's see if you can stomp the great big turd Tyler. So I'll talk to you then.
Swab.
I remember that. That's an old school, man. Deuces.
This is the Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate you.